Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another great, super cool radio interview. I'm your host, as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have some great guests joining me at this time. Recently, Hearts and Hand Grenades released a killer new single entitled Burn by My Fire, along with an awesome-looking music video. Please welcome from Hearts and Hand Grenades, Stef and Mike.
Hey,
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. It's awesome to have you guys on the show. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
So I know we had quite a bit to discuss. Obviously, you got the new single out and plus the upcoming album next year as well. But before we get to that, I've had a fun question to ask you guys. I've been asking all my guests this season. If you could have dinner with any two musicians throughout history, living or deceased, who would they be?
Man.
Loaded question.
They do get progressively easier as the interview goes on.
I don't know.
I'm going to say Angus Young because we're the same height. Yeah. And, he's largely responsible for me picking up a guitar in the first place. So that would be one for me. And probably Rob Halford from Judas Priest, just being, a fan of Judas Priest, for all those years and, still. So yeah, that would be my two.
Man. All right, I'm going to stick with modern. I'm a big Muse fan, so I'm going to say Matt Bellamy and Chris Wolstenholme.
Nice. Excellent picks all around. Awesome. 4 great picks. So thank you guys so much. We will be transitioning to Hearts and Hand Grenades, and the questions will get progressively easier. But I always like to start with a good icebreaker question like that.
Yeah.
Right on.
All right, so now focusing on Hearts and Hand Grenades now. You guys released a killer new single entitled Burn by My Fire. So for anyone who hasn't checked out the single, what can they expect musically and lyrically?
Musically, yeah. I mean, it's, I think it's, driving hard rock,
Yeah.
type of song. It's got keys in there to give it kind of like that epic feel along with that hard driving, rhythm. So it's, for me, it's a lot of fun. One of those songs you can see yourself speeding to on the, in your car while you're driving, that type of thing. Good workout
Which
tune,
we don't
possibly.
encourage. We don't encourage that kind of behavior.
That's a good disclaimer.
Yeah, right?
Lyrically, I'm horrible with lyrics, so I got to defer that to Steph over here.
No, it's just it's a good song. It was born out of some industry frustration, we'll call it. And it's just one of those in your face songs, like here I am and deal with it. So yeah, it's just energy, and it's a lot of pent up aggression, that kind of feel. So yeah, it's just, for us, it's really enjoyable.
Oh no, it definitely is. I very much enjoy it. It's a great workout song. It's very hard hitting, and if you do happen to speed to any kind of music, it's a good song to do that. But I would not encourage that either. So, but I'm curious. So, obviously, this single is off an upcoming album set to release, I believe, January of 2024. So, like, what can people expect from like the album? Is Burn like a good indication?
I think so. I would say, yeah. It's, to us, this is definitely by far our best album that we've put together. We put a lot of thought into this one. It kind of, the songs, they kind of theme together too, which I don't know if that was necessarily intentional, but this is probably the first time that I'd say maybe lyrically all the songs kind of link each other together. So that was fun for us. Yeah, that's kind of something. But yeah, it's there's a lot of fast paced, high energy on there. And then there's a couple, curveballs that we throw. So it's a lot of fun.
Right on, right. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to if what we got with Burn. I'm definitely looking forward to the new album. But I also see you guys have the artwork. At least I saw in the press release. So like, I've always really enjoyed your artwork and the albums and stuff. So I'm curious, like, how did the artwork for this album come about?
Yeah, so I got to take this one back a little bit to our first album. The same artist has done all 4 of our album cover designs. One was a single though, so that one really doesn't count as an album. But going back to Turning to Ashes, which was our first release, you've got the girl, which we named her. Her name is Lilith. She's burning the city down, floating in the sky type of thing, and just burning the whole city to ashes, that type of thing. And then in the follow-up album, Between the Lines, she's kneeling down in the freezing, cold, where the city's kind of froze over and destroyed and all this stuff, and kind of thinking about her actions type of thing.
The aftermath.
The aftermath. And then telling a story with this in the Between the Lines album, if you look at the very center of the picture, there's a space in the sky where it's got the purplish stars and background, which is the Between the Lines type of thing. And that opens up in the human picture, though. If you notice, the whole sky in the human picture is that little thin slit that you could see in the Between the Lines album cover. And then moving forward to Where I Begin, which is our upcoming album, she's kind of like reinvigorated herself, and she's ready to destroy things again. And it's got mechanical aspects from the human album cover, where she was kind of a robot type of thing, and then the pyramids. If you look at in the new album cover, are kind of mechanical pyramids under the sand type of thing. So it's kind of finishing that story, moving on to the next one, where she's basically starting born again and starting over.
Yep.
To continue on. So it's kind of cool using the different elements in each album as well. You have the fire, the frost, and then you have lightning and tornadoes and things like that in the new cover. So it's that was kind of all elemental type powers and stuff. So we're kind of telling a story as we're moving along between the album covers. Most people probably won't really get that unless you hear from us, and then you go back and you look at them, you're like, oh yeah. So, and that was not planned.
No.
It was just kind of, we sort of fell into it. And before we did the Between the Lines album cover, we kind of came up with that idea before we did the artwork for that, and then kind of just move forward from there.
Yep.
Oh no, right. As I said, I really enjoy you guys' artwork. I love the color choices and the images you guys use. So it's cool that like all the albums are kind of like they have like some elements from like past ones included with, and obviously Lilith as well.
Yep.
Right, and that's Jeff Balance is our artist for that, from 119 Design, and just an incredible artist. Anybody, any of your viewers or whatnot that are looking for an artist for their albums, he's fantastic. So, and very, very reasonable, and just does exactly what you ask him to do, and very quickly too. So very, very good artist.
Oh no, definitely right on. I will leave a link for him in the description of this podcast as well. If anyone's looking for some great artwork, definitely check out and hit him up as well.
Awesome.
So, but I'm curious. So, like for you guys, what is your writing process for Hearts and Hand Grenades?
Typically, most of them start out with just a little guitar riff, and it's usually just Mike comes up with something on the guitar, and then we kind of work through that, and from there, it turns into, we put some bass to it, we put some drums to it, some lead guitar, and then we sort of just mush it all together and work on it then as a band. But it really starts with this guy.
Yeah, I usually just kind of little doodle session, say, and then wait for Steph to hear it. Hey, what do you think of this? She usually takes a dump on it, or
it's okay.
or I really like that one. So we kind of we'll just build it right from there, and it's a process. So we have done a few songs where we either started with the lyrics or started with a bass line, and
Mike hates that.
Don't like.
Hates
yeah. It's not anywhere near as easy, if you will, to kind of go the other direction. So
yeah, to me, it's like, this makes perfect sense. What do you mean you don't get it? I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
So what are the odds when you like have a guitar riff that Steph's gonna like it or not?
Oh my god, percentage. Put a percentage to
pretty. I would say 90+% of the time you like them. 89.
Sometimes it depends. I would say we're gonna go with a 70-30 split. That's That's good. Oh, 70% of the time, I'm like, that's the one. This is great. And then there's that 30% of the time where I'm like, it's good, but let's try this, and then we argue about it for like a month, and then it turns into whatever you hear on the album, and it's wonderful.
If I had feelings, they'd be hurt right now.
You don't have feelings.
I know.
We're good. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Well, it's still overall a winning percentage, which is pretty good.
That's right. That's right. Glass is half full.
Right.
Exactly, or 70%.
That's right. That's right.
That's still plenty of liquid.
Right.
All right, so Mike, for you, so like when there is lyrics in a bass line, is it what's like the struggle with like coming with like just trying to fit a guitar riff with it, or like what's like the issue with that?
Yeah, it's kind of, for me the feel of the song is always the guitar riff, and just that's for me the driving factor. I'm in the driver's seat. I like being a part of the rhythm section in our band. I don't like doing solos. It's not my thing, and it never will be. I like to sit there right back by the drummer and lock in with him, and then just basically feel like you're driving the band in the background. And when it starts with another spot, it's a little bit more difficult to try to, that's
Yeah.
what can you do to put something over the top of that without changing what she created on that bass line. And it's for me it's a lot more difficult to go in that direction, but it's not impossible. I mean, we have quite maybe 5-6 songs that we've done that way already, and they turned out wonderful. But it just
it's probably my delivery. It's not that he struggles at all. It's that I am not one of those bass players that also plays guitar. I never have dabbled in guitar, and I probably never will. So for me, I walk in, I'm like, oh, Mike, I have this great idea, and it goes like this. And then I'll walk in and be like, my bass line's going to sound like this, which is not helpful at all to him. But, and then I'll just hum, the guitar should be like, okay? And then I leave. And then he looks at me like,
huh?
And then I'm like, what? So that's really how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I give it minimal stuff to work with, and then he makes it magical.
Right.
Maybe try a PowerPoint presentation. That might help.
Yeah, I'll do that next time.
Yeah.
Or a pop-up book.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, pop-up pictures and colors, and that might help.
Ooh, okay. That'll be the next album.
Yeah, and a juice box. Don't forget the juice box.
You can't forget the juice box.
70% full.
Yeah, 70% full.
Right? Excellent.
I took the first few swigs out of it.
I took that 30%. It's gone.
I don't know where I was going to go with my next question, but I'm having a great time. I hope you guys are as well.
Yeah.
So writing for the upcoming album, was it a different experience compared to like previous albums, or was it like pretty similar to what we've been talking about?
The writing process is still the same as far as like how we, build the songs. The actual process of getting these songs recorded, totally different for us this time. I mean, we had so Corey Mahalski is our drummer on this album. This is the only album that he's recorded on, and he lives in Phoenix. And we're from Buffalo, so we had to track the songs, send them to him. He would send them back with the drums that he felt went good with the tracks that we put together, and then we went back and forth saying fix this, change that, this type of thing. And then he gave us a scratch track to bring back to our recording studio, which we played along with, and then we sent it back to
him again.
We sent it back to him again to do his finalized recording on the actual tracks with all of our parts in there. So we have multiple guitar tracks, and then the vocal harmonies and all the backing stuff, and everything's in there. And and then he did his final drums to that. And then once everything was good, then we did the mixing and mastering process from there. So it was just a total opposite side of the country type of thing for us this time. And it was.
So it took a little bit longer than previous albums, but I mean, I think we were well prepared. I think going into it, we knew this was going to be the process. We kind of had that game plan of get us the scratch tracks, we'll record to that, and then we'll get you our finalized as best as we can tracks for you to record your part to. Then we'll get it all, mixed. I think it works pretty well though. But yeah, it took a little bit longer than the past albums did.
Right.
No, I got you. Definitely a lot of probably exchanging emails and files, just back and forth.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you go to do a live performance, having never played these songs with him before live.
Right.
So it's, you got to sit down and kind of, it didn't even first pass it. It was just an instant, one pass through, and we had it locked down and ready to play a show. So it was that fast. So worked out well.
Yep.
I know, right? I'm glad it did. I'm glad, with everything with the process, and obviously, performing live, that pretty smooth for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
But now, since I did want to talk about the live show performance side for a little bit, so that's a good segue and transition. So I'm curious for you guys, do you mentally prepare differently to perform live compared to recording music?
Oh yeah, I think so.
I have about 6 beers before I get on stage. That's how I mentally prepare.
He also has this really great approach to playing a live show. And I'm going to tell the world.
What do I do?
Mike is the nicest dude. He will be everybody's best buddy, but you're playing a show with Mike, right? So you're another band on the same bill as Hearts and Hand Grenades. Mike goes onto that stage. You could be his best friend, but when he's on that stage, his only purpose in life is to absolutely fucking destroy you. And that's all he cares about. So he goes on there. He's intense. He's like, whoa. And that's how Mike approaches the show, which is great. And I think it works and it's awesome. I like to be prepared as well, but I don't intend on, stomping on the faces of everyone that I play with. But Mike's like, get out of my way. Here I am, bitches.
Yeah, just like she said, all the bands that we play with, great friends of ours. They're all great people. When we go on stage, I like to be the best that we can possibly be. And I don't want another band going up there and doing better than we did. So I have that, I'm going to go into the jungle and I'm going to eat all of you alive and spit you out, nothing but bones left when I'm done with you. And that's the attitude that I have every time I go up there. That just makes the performance much more intense and just,
you have to, though. You have to approach every show with that intensity and that, whether you're playing for 4 people or you're playing for 40,000 people, you go out there and you give it your all. But then he gets off the stage and it's like the crazy switch went boom, and then he's back to being like, hey guys. Yeah, it's great. It's really fun. We have a lot of fun. Our live shows, I think, there's a lot of energy on the stage, and the audience can feel that too. So we have a good time.
Yeah.
Well, I can appreciate the intensity and commitment, Mike. I can appreciate that.
Yeah,
thank you.
Well, it means I've not seen you guys live yet, but I definitely want to, and I got to see that intensity in real life, and hopefully I don't get scared.
So I'm just a little guy, man. I'm only 5 feet tall.
He's just got the angry face. The whole show is just.
I just angry elf.
The angry face the whole time. That's great.
Well, it's all right. I'm probably less than 2, and I'm 6'1", so that should be all right.
The weather is different for you people.
Yeah. It is. It's a way different than everyone asked you to help reach something off the top shelf. Happens everywhere I go.
They got rid of the phone book. I can't stand on that anymore.
No, yeah, that's long gone now.
They don't even have milk cartons anymore.
Yeah, I don't.
That's gone too.
Jeez. Yeah.
Platform shoes.
Platform shoes.
Yeah, that's gonna be your next best
option,
buddy.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. Start carrying around a ladder with me.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be good.
We need a still sponsorship. That's what we need.
Yeah.
That'd be good. That would come in handy. So, hey, any sponsors out there like that? Hit them up.
Yeah, that would be a different one, wouldn't it? Everyone else is sponsored by Ibanez guitars or this, that, and the next thing, and I'm sponsored by a ladder company.
And everybody's so impressed that he's now 7 feet tall, and we're like, yeah, right? Look at this guy.
Hey, a good quality ladder, it comes in handy very well, no matter what.
It sure does.
Yes.
All right. Well, focusing back on the live set, I'm curious for you guys. Do you have a favorite song to perform live?
I do.
I do too.
Yeah, for me, it's off our first album. It's For the Weekend. It's just kind of like one of those, rock anthems for like, standing up for the, smaller, weaker people type of thing, and that type of
The
stuff.
underdog.
But yeah, the underdog, and
The underdog.
yeah, that's one of my favorite songs to play live. It just drives, and people. You just look out, and it's not one of those mosh pit kind of songs, but every time we play, you just see
like
everybody's
the
just going like this, Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. For me, so my favorite song is probably Turning to Ashes. And I do love playing that. It's a fast-paced song. There's a lot of energy in that one. But I really love, I don't know, I love playing Between the Lines. That's one of my favorite songs because it's really like, it's just me beating the crap out of my bass for the majority of that song. And I don't know, it's cathartic, like it's really fun to be able to do that. And you hope that you're not going to break your finger or like your instrument or something. But I don't know, like that's a good one. It's like you get out a lot of pent up energy playing that. So that's a tie for me between those two.
Nice. Well, you haven't broken your fingers yet playing, right?
I thought I did recording the video. I think I did because there was a lot of bruising when we were done. We did the video and we played it like 12 times, 13 times when we did that. And then, by the end of it, I was like, I can't bend my finger anymore. And it's because I was just hitting the bass and I just kept hitting it on, like the side where I shouldn't have been hitting it. I'm like, maybe I should stop doing that. But then I do it every show. So it's still attached. It's fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine.
All right, sounds good. That's good.
Dangerous.
All right, well, as long as it's still attached and it works, I mean, that's the best you can hope for.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So as we're closing on this interview, I just got a few more things to discuss. So what are the plans for Hearts and Hand Grenades for the rest of this year, 2023, and how is early 2024 looking like?
The rest of this year, we're grounded from touring until the beginning of next year, at least. All we're going to do is focus on this release. We have two more singles coming out for the rest of this year. November 3rd, we have Better Off Alone coming out, and then December 15th, we have I Just Want My Rock. Mm-hmm. It's another weird song.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
But yeah, and then we have the full album coming out in January. So we're just going to kind of focus on the releases and making sure that those, hit hard when they come out. We do have we have one local show here in Buffalo or Niagara Falls, in November. Yeah. And then we have another one where we're opening up for Josie Scott from Saliva in December. And then Rochester, it's only about an hour from us, so it's not too bad. Hour and a half. Mm-hmm. I don't know how far. It's
local.
Yeah, sort of local, but
depends on the traffic.
Yeah, and then we're looking at possible tour in the U.S. tour when the album comes out in February. We're already building our third UK tour next year, so that'll be
that's end of 2024.
Yeah, we're going to probably be looking at the end of 2024 for that one, but so things are looking pretty busy here. So we're
it's in the works.
Yeah, slowly but surely.
Yep.
Well, right on. Sounds like you guys got some great things in the works coming up for the rest of this year, and of course the new album release early next year as well. So I wish you guys the best with all of that, and I like the U.S. tour. It'd be awesome. I'd love to see you guys live at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds great.
So as we're wrapping this up, for everyone watching and listening, where are the best places to find Hearts and Hand Grenades online?
We have our website, heartsandhandgrenades.com. We are on all of the streaming platforms, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, all the fun stuff. And you can catch us on all of the social platforms as well.
Right on. And I'll leave some links for Hearts and Hand Grenades in the description of this podcast as well. Please check out and support them. They got some great things coming up. New single Burn by My Fire, currently available right now with the new album coming out early next year as well. But thank you guys so much for stopping by Super Cool Radio.
Thank you so much for having us.
Of course, for Stef and Mike of Hearts and Hand Grenades, I'm your host always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.